Stan Gibilisco here. I'm going to describe for you the operation of a simple alternating current generator and include a functional diagram which you will find in my book Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics, 6th edition, published by McGraw-Hill in June of 2016, co-authored with Simon Monk, who contributed new chapters on microcontrollers and the Arduino device, which I hope you will find immensely useful should you decide to purchase the book. If you do purchase the book, I recommend the hard copy. I always recommend the hard copy because electronic books have a tendency to errors have a tendency to creep into them and disrupt them in ways that I still don't understand. But in any case, that's not what this video is about. This video is about how a simple electric generator works. You have two permanent magnets, powerful magnets, and they're basically bar magnets separated by a certain gap which has room for a rotating coil. In this particular case, the north poles of the permanent magnets are on the left sides and the south poles on the right sides, so that you have actually an attractive force occurring between these two poles. But that force is not what creates the current, the alternating current at the output. There are two essential components for this current to exist, and that is for a strong magnetic field to exist between this south pole and this north pole. And the lines of flux kind of follow a contour similar to what you've seen in some illustrations where they have a tendency to curve like that, like that. But basically, the magnetic flux exists between these two poles and in a constant and very intense field. When this coil, called the armature coil, is rotated by, say, maybe a gasoline-powered motor. Heaven forbid that we should use anything as environmentally unfriendly as that. Now, how about a bicycle where you pedal the thing and you connect this to one of the wheel shafts so that you can generate electricity from the effort of pumping that bicycle? In any case, you want to make this coil rotate by applying torque to a shaft with embedded wires in it. And those two embedded wires are connected to opposite ends of this coil, and as the coil rotates in this magnetic field with this orientation, the lines of flux going through the coil and the axis around which the coil rotates going perpendicularly to the line connecting these two poles. When you have this orientation and you provide that, you pedal that bicycle, then you will get at the output an alternating electric current produced by the induced current caused by the magnetic field as it goes first in one direction and then in the other through the coil as the coil goes round and round and round. As you will notice resistance when you pump that bicycle, and the more powerful these magnets here should get, and the more turns you have in this coil, the harder you will find it to pump that bicycle. And that effort that you must put into pumping that bicycle gets converted, that energy that you're using after you ate your Twinkies or Crispies or whatever, candy bars or baked potatoes. So to get those calories, to get that energy to make your legs move, to make that shaft turn, you get that energy magically transposed into alternating current, which you can then use to light the room in which you sit there looking absolutely ridiculous. as ridiculous possibly as Stan Gibilisco. Signing off. Until next time, once again, this book you'll find it advertised on Amazon.com, and you may even find it in a bricks and mortar bookstore near you, should you be so lucky as to have such a place to live. Until next time, so long.